AM 1400 The Patriot. And Tina, today we're talking a little bit about home ownership 101.
Yeah.
You know, every week we're talking about the American dream, what it is to have a debt-free life in a paid-for house and be able to retire at a reasonable age. And we've spent a lot of time recently talking about big categories like retirement investing. We talk about estate planning. We talk about strategies for taxes. We talk about investments. We talk having adequate insurance. We're all over the map to help you with your American dream, but you know, so much of it is tied into home ownership.
Right.
And it turns out, you know, the culture is getting a little bit later start with that sometimes.
Actually, I was reading something too that said some of them are getting a later start, but the millennials are really into home ownership, wanting to own their own home.
Well, because it's so important, and they're smart enough to figure that out. You know, the renter is constantly throwing money down the rental hole and not building a future financial freedom, and that home ownership can really be a foothold to a future financial freedom. So I've asked Tim Pascarella of Team Pascarella, powered by Ross Mortgage, a lender, a loan officer, actually a vice president at Ross Mortgage as well, to come talk to us about this process. And I've invited Andre Salami, a Red Door realtor, to join us as well. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
Good, good. Tim, the starting point on home ownership really isn't shopping for the house per se, is it? I mean, what is really the starting point on home ownership?
Well, the absolute first step you should do is get pre-approved.
And pre-approved meaning?
Meaning that you've gone to a local bank, lender, broker, whatever it may be, who does mortgages, and actually have given them the proper documentation in order to make sure that you can afford whatever house you're looking at.
Yeah, because really the wise shopper is not running out looking at the product before they're looking at the pocketbook, right? What can I do that makes sense in my situation? So let's talk about the importance of pre-approval and how to go about that.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I was always amazed at how a lot of my clients, they budget to go to Target,
right, and
they budget to go to, Kmart or the grocery store, but they'll go out and look at a $300,000 house and have no idea if they can afford it.
That's right.
And then if you can't, the $200,000 one just doesn't look the same.
Yeah, I just never understood that.
Well, and then there's the whole just because you can doesn't mean you should. When you're talking about building a future for yourself, making wise decisions. So what's some of the benefits? Why should you get pre-approved?
Absolutely. I think the biggest benefit to getting pre-approved is you gain confidence, you avoid disappointment. And what I mean by that is you've given the proper documentation to the bank, lender, LO, whatever it may be, and they've actually pulled your credit, and they're actually able to tell you how much you're going to be able to afford. And that avoids all surprises and all disappointment, because like Tina just said, the last thing you want to do is go get your hopes up with a $300,000 house and find out you can only afford $200,000.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you guys say all the time. It's just not the same.
No.
So you avoid disappointment, you gain confidence. I mean, you should see some of the people that come through my office when I tell them, when you tell someone that they can afford a house and how much they can afford, and that actually meets their wants and needs, they get so excited. The confidence just exudes. It's always funny. The people that come in that don't think they can get pre-approved, for some reason, those are always the ones where it's perfect. And then the people who think they just got it nailed, they're always a little more difficult. So yeah. I mean, it's good for confidence when you're out shopping, and avoid the disappointment of not being able to afford it.
And the stress, really, I mean, it's a big deal buying a house. And if you're sort of the stress of the unknown comes to mind there.
Absolutely.
If you're not sure where you stand, it can be really sort of disconcerting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's good to just find out what the deal is. Come correct, come informed, and understand where you stand. That's
Tear off that Band-Aid.
And then the worst thing is, if you go shopping without your pre-approval, find the house you really want that you could afford, and it's gone by the time you actually get a pre-approval.
Well, yeah, and then not only that, in today's market and world and mortgage world and real estate world, nothing's fast anymore. And I know everybody likes to come out and say everything's fast, and I can do this and I can do that. That's just to get you to call them. Nothing's fast anymore.
Yeah, we live in this culture that's kind of addicted to convenience.